One of those offlaners as well, the Lycan, that doesn't really offer you any team fight, but that's why you see the support Pango coming out as man, your cam's doing some real crazy stuff today. My goodness. I love it. I'm gonna have to go back and take some screenshots, John, so we can get those NFT collections going for you. I know how excited you get about those. But
Very exciting, Mike.
yeah, I can hear it in your voice, John. I can hear it in your voice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Polaris, do take the line to follow through, so they've got some good burst, good control coming out with the line, of course. I'm still keen to see what they do with the Lycan here on Polaris. You mentioned offlane Lycan for Force could be a possibility. I think Force still wants to play the Pango, right? Like we talked about this, Xavius has been saying Force has been feeling like a Drift King, so he might lean towards taking that Pango. But if you do shift at support, Neon are committing very hard to counteract it. I mean, Bloodseeker can also stop the Lycan, of course, Rupture to hold him back. Kind of takes away the impact of that shapeshift, so he's not just able to easily run around and pin down your supports. This does feel like massive commitment from Neon to get that done, but it still kind of plays into the draft off Neon well. You've got Astral into Bloodright. You are going to lack team fight here on Neon in terms of control, so you're really banking on some good Soulbind and the double grips, double nightmares, double astrals, double ruptures. All of your team fights stemming from that. Compared to Polaris, Rolling Thunder still has a lot of room to go around, although, again, Bane, Grimstroke, and Bloodseeker makes it tough. You always have a line as well, at least with the Earth Spike and Hex. So I feel like in terms of just keeping heroes down or multiple heroes down, it might be a little bit easier for Polaris, but they're also kind of stuck with just the line, as you can't fully rely on Rolling Thunder up against Grimstroke, Bane, Bloodseeker. Literally, the three counter picks are all there, Mike.
Yeah, they certainly are, John. Very hard Pango game and Lycan game for that matter here for Polaris Esports, but we'll see what this last pick's going to be. You never know, they might be able to turn all of this around. I mean, let's be frank as well, John. Every time we've seen Bloodseeker, even if it is countering out heroes, it tends to lose, for lack of a better word. So, while you do have the counters, and that's all good and well, it doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to win the game. And there's a Snapfire now, which, let's be fair, there's no real answer to the Snapfire right now, as far as I can tell. Though is this like a POS 1 Lycan now, offlane Pango, and then you're going to throw the mid TA? Or are we seeing a mid Snapfire popping out?
I don't see the full reason for a mid snap yet. Up against an OD, it's not too bad, but it's also not the most amazing matchup for a snap. It does beg the question as to where it goes. I mean, you could still have your TA safe. It feels like you want the TA mid, but you could go TA safe, Pango mid, and Lycan off, or switch to Lycan and Pangolier around. I think you would be more comfy with Pango and support, just to make sure Neon's counter picks are on a support. It feels a lot nicer, as it's not a big hero you've been farming up on. The Snapfire pick is throwing it in a loop a bit. I do like the potential coming through, but you don't have setup for the kisses. It's not like you've got Rena, it's not like you've got Ravage or Chrono to ensure Snapfire's damage always comes through in the early to mid game. Late game, you can still do some right click, I suppose. I'm keen to see what Polaris does. I'm trying to recall if we have seen Lelouch play this mid. I don't think we have seen that. Again, the only players that come into mind with mid snap in Southeast Asia was Abed when he was here, Yopaj, and I believe Fearless. Those were the only three guys to really give it a shot. So, not sure if Lelouch would want to take it mid. I guess he's still pretty open in what he's expecting for a matchup, and this is throwing Neon in for a loop, Mike. They're taking time in this last pick.
That they are, John. That they are. 45 seconds reserve time left to think about this one. John, I know I say this every time, but I wish you could see what's happening on the screen right now with you. Yeah, it really is brilliant. I mean, you're moving up and down. It's resizing the camera. I have no idea how all this is happening just based off a bad connection, but it's doing some things, John. At least you're getting taller without trying, which is good. You look huge right now, by the way.
I'm keen to see that in delay. Right now, it just looks like a horror film.
Oh, keep watching.
I'm watching it.
Keep watching.
It looks like a horror film. This could be the start of a horror cast. Like, I could end up being a ghost. You could get devoured by my spirit or something. As Neon go into the Beastmaster, so it is looking like we're having our offlane Beastmaster coming through. Asta is taking the Bloodseeker. So that should be a safe lane Bloodseeker with possibly the mid OD. Xavius will take the Snapfire, Force will take the Pango, and Lelouch will take the TA. So Natsumi on the Lycan safe instead. I think that's a much more standard way for Polaris to run it. Neon has gone all in on combinations with Soulbind. You've got Roar on top of Astral, on top of Rupture, on top of Grip. There's a lot of really good single target control. They lack AoE control, but the same could almost be said for Polaris. So I think this is going to be a back and forth game. In terms of momentum though, Neon's draft does come in line very fast. Not that Polaris takes too much time, but the TA will take a little bit more in comparison. And if Polaris aren't ready to, man the front, stall the game out just a little bit for Lelouch, Neon can take a lot of objectives off the map very quick off the top of 2 pickoffs.
Yeah, certainly so. It's going to be a very exciting game here between these two teams for game number 1. Sounds like you're kind of leaning towards OB.Neon, but oh yeah, I'm glad to see you catching up as well to the stream, by the way, John. I didn't even ask you this time what you're laughing about. Trust me, it only gets better, John. You keep watching until we head to the game. It only gets better. I'd hate to miss out on the action.
Oh man, this looks like some sort of I don't know, just some sort of experimental thing. I don't know. My connection's been up and down. I think our lines are finally affected by whatever's going on the other ISP. Been kind of up and down. So it is what it is. Hopefully that doesn't affect our players though, Mike, as we do get into the game. Wouldn't want to see too many disconnects. But this is a Rambulan. These are 2 Filipino teams, so chances are there's a high possibility of a pause at some point, Mike.
The beauty of all this was, John, as soon as we were about to switch, your camera started working normally, so... Murphy's Law kicking in, right? What can you do?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just whatever happens, happens. You've just got to accept it. Anyway, still, I mean, Polaris Esports OB.Neon should be a very fun matchup. You know what would have made this game very fast, John? Is if the Necrobook was still in the game. If Necrobook was still in the game, these guys would be back playing Dawn of War in no time.
Oh my god, Mike, stop it. I would like to point out, Force is tossing this onto Neon. They have said, sinipa mo naman si Solap. So they're saying, you kick Palos. And then they're like, yeah, alright, no response.
Wow.
Silence. Out for Neon. Force! Very spicy today. This guy's not holding back.
Ouch. Force. You got to get in that mental warfare, John. I mean, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. There's a bit of truth to it. OB.Neon may not be too happy about that one. Well, they're having a laugh now, but who knows what the conversations are like. No fight over the boundary runes by the looks of it. I mean, maybe top lane, Asta could try to get a little bit aggressive here, but Xavius just going to kind of zone him out. Going to be a 2-for-2 trade as we'll start off with the top lane. I mean, you're going to have Asta there on that position 1 Bloodseeker. Support is on his way, a Bang on the Bane, just making his way over through the mid lane. Might even scan out for a quick ward. Does find it very nice here for a Bang. Does even put the hand up for a high 5 on the way out. And so it will be Asta and a Bang, of course, against Xavius and Force here in the Pango Snapfire. Don't give it to us. Is there an advantage to go one way or the other in this top lane?
It feels a lot better for Polaris. You can be really aggressive with Shield Crash, Cookie to gap close, hold back, and keep that Bloodseeker pinned down. Not much a Bloodseeker can really do beyond just tossing out a Blood Trite, maybe lining it up with a Nightmare. Abing's gonna have to put in a lot of work to just get some zoning out. And I think as this lane builds up, that threat to just the stuns, just the durability and nuke damage out from Force and Xavius might be able to hold back on Neon. So we'll have to see how much they can get out. Blood Ride's still pretty strong, but you don't tend to see the Blood Rage on top of it, at least in the laning phase, so you can't really amp that damage up, and Force is fairly durable every single time he gets a Shield Crash off.
Yeah. Of course, over in the mid lane, you've got Avatar mode there against Lelouch. Interesting matchups here against the OD, right? Because the TA does seem like it will have an inherent advantage until you get the Meteor Hammer up. And once Avatar mode does have that Meteor Hammer available, then things get kind of hellish for Lelouch, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's when it gets really tough for the OD, but in the initial levels it feels pretty darn good for Lelouch. No way to really pierce through the refraction. You can always just tank through the hits. Arcane Orb Harassment's not going to feel as potent, and the Astral is also not going to hold him back. So we'll have to see how fast Avatar mode can hit that Meteor Hammer timing. Rune control is fairly even for both sides. It might be a little bit more important for Lelouch, but Avatar mode's copying a lot of hits, and as an OD, you don't tend to go for bottle on the mid, so we'll see how much more he can hold off from the damage here from Lelouch.
Yeah. And of course, the final lane, John, bot lane, Enryu and Jing against Natsumi here, who is currently being chased down, but is not going to cop the Inkswell as Jing gets the tip out from Natsumi. And you've also got Mavis there supporting Natsumi on that Lycan. It does seem like Enryu and Jing are looking to get aggressive, but so far, no luck here with the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, you do have that potential, I would say. A boar running up with the Inkswell, get the slow off, just gap close and get the stun off. It's still a pretty tanky lane. Lycan's just a very tanky hero with a Feral Impulse. Once that's up to level 2, with the Helm of Fire and Will, it's going to be hard to eat through Natsumi. He's having a great time just farming up. No real pressure coming out onto that Lycan. Enryu can't really zone him out too hard with the boars because wolves are there to fight back. So it's a bit of a zoo war on the bot lane, Mike. No Necronomicon anymore, but the summons will fight each other here at the very least.
As Ice Frog intended. If you can't fight yourself, get those summons in there. We'll do the job for you. Again, John, I would love to see some books here, but, you know, I guess helmets will cover it.
Yes. That will definitely get the job done.
Gonna be chased down top lane in big trouble. They have a swashbuckle available, but they want the shield crash instead, and they will get it. First blood to go the way of Force as Asta trying to punish the best he can, but is unable to get anything done.
And that's a great pickup for them. They might be able to snipe a courier as well. Xavier's managed to get that done. And just that, it's that spike we talked about. They have so much nuke damage here with Snapfire and Pangolier that you have to zone yourself. Just not much counterplay out for Neon.
Bang gonna try and really harass Xavius now. They will drag the creep wave with them. Bang just gonna try and give them as much as possible. Nice little nightmare there, but Xavier's still going to go for the creep pull anyway. Blood Riot, though, is now out, and Xavius is falling low, but he will cookie out of the Blood Riot, as now Force has been left to try and fight this one out. He's a fairly tanky boy, though, with that shield crash, and now Xavius is back in to body block for Force. Fairy Fire up. It's not going to be enough. In fact, Asta, he might go all the way for the next. Force is still going to swashbuckle, though, and he will be okay. But Asta does get some sweet revenge here for his Bane.
And that helps him recuperate in lane. You do have to watch yourself when you trade a bit too long without regen. Bloodseeker can suddenly pounce back at you with a Tourist. That is something he's going to be looking to playing with. And of course, a Bane can help you get that done. Brain Sap is a pretty good nuke in lane to rebalance just the HP between the two heroes. And you do have to watch yourself. Still, I don't think Polaris minds too much. They got first blood gold, they got the bonus out for Force. He gets topped up from the TP back end of Xavius. And they are still getting some good stacks in the jungle as well. That hasn't been spotted out or scouted out by Abeng. So triple stacks are there. Lots of good farm to come in for Lelouch down the line. Mind you, those ancients hit a little bit harder. The creeps do in general pose a little bit more of a threat with the spell use, but shouldn't matter too much for a TA once the refraction is ready to go and with a little bit of assistance out from the supports.
Top lane, Force does cop the blood right. Brain Sap was there, so Asta moving in, trying to go after more damage onto Force. Does actually juke out the Scatter Blast to boot. So it seems like this Pos 1 Bloodseeker is starting to get rather aggressive now. These initial levels up. Force having a bit more difficulty trying to contest the lane here against this BS. I suppose when you've got the Nightmare into the Blood Riot setup, it's just so much damage being pumped out initially. Force, definitely at the stage where he can't really sit in this lane by himself anymore. Hell, even with the Snapfire, I'm not sure that'd be enough, as they do actually land the Nightmare with the Blood Riot to fly out. They know there's no way out here for Force apart from that shield crash on the tank. Though Xavius has shown up. Asta, have you gone too far?
Oh my god.
Oh, he has. Asta will tip over Force. Meanwhile, Natsumi does kill off Jing. So 2 to go down for OB.Neon. Man, that shield crash, John, it really allows you to tank through so much more damage.
It was really the lucky shot that enabled him to get through. Like that last second lucky shot held back, tower aggro's on him. Now Bang might get punished here.
Yeah, Lelouch finding a third target now for Polaris Esports, as we are going to have a quick pause out for Lelouch at some very interesting timing. So we'll give the go-ahead straight away. What's a Bing saying, John?
I can't say it. I can't say what that other word is. You will all know. You all know what that means. You see the letters, the 4 letters there, Mike. No need to say.
Can you at least message me, John? I don't know what it means.
You know,
Never mind,
The
John.
usual
Bot
curse
lane.
words of Filipino, yes.
And Ryu, blocked up here. Natsumi gonna have the superior units in the Wolves compared to the Bears. Does actually take down Enryu.
Yeah, just the kills coming out from Polaris really starting to stack up. And for Neon, they've got to watch themselves. Like, we did say that Polaris might take some time to build up. They've got a strong laning start to set themselves up here. They've cleared out a ton of Ancients for Lelouch. And now we're getting aggression on mid.
Yeah, mid lane, Avatar mode was trying to get aggressive with the Meteor Hammer pickup, but he's going to get punished. Lelouch does pick him off with the TA, and with that, they can even get some decent damage off onto this mid tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's no defensive options yet for Neon. They don't have Soul Bind up, they do have Rupture, no Roar, no Grip. They can try clearing out the creep wave to stall it, but it's already a good amount of damage on that tier 1 from Lelouch already.
They're looking for more now as well. Jing rotating across the other side of the mid lane, trying to remain protected, but now the Wolves will scout out through that tree line. Jing will show himself. It looks like Polaris will have no real choice but to leave the mid lane now, as well, Avatar mode actually going to find out this TA. Into the Meteor Hammer. You've got Mavis there to try and help, but Lelouch is going to get bursted down here by the OD. In fact, it's actually Jing who takes the kill on the Grimp Stroke.
Yeah, it's not the best here to give the kill away to. You don't mind too much on Neon. You find a good pick off, punishing Lelouch for overextending. Mavis being aggressive though.
Yeah. Wish you played line like that, John. It's Avatar mode. Gonna find the line pick off, it seems. Mavis. This is more like the JohnXFire line I'm used to. Getting picked off in the mid lane for no apparent reason.
What do you mean, Mike? Yeah, I would make plays like that if you microed your wolves. Huh? What if you microed like Natsumi? It's not on me. Mavis was set up by the great micro of Natsumi. He was chasing Jing around that entire time. Good moves from Polaris to find something. Not the best traits. You still use your line. It is some much needed EXP coming out, which is necessary to get that finger off. We'll see how much more Polaris will want to play. I think Lelouch still doesn't have any of his starting items working for a fast blink here. He's not looking to just go for all in on the minus armor and farm. He wants to have some early presence. Let's see how long that takes to build up. Smoke out from Natsumi and Mavis though. And look to maybe find something. No finger, but they do have the shapeshift up.
Radiant's bottom tower
Only a Bang in the mid lane, but if they can set up the kill onto the Bane, they could definitely go after that mid tier 1 very early, as Lelouch is going to try and bait them to come stop him. Traps are out, Avatar mode's going to show up, but Mavis, he's there with the Hex out onto the Bane already, and with all these units, he's just going to melt.
Dire's middle tower is under
Avatar mode, only choice here is to run on the OD.
has fallen.
And I'll tell you what, John, maybe the recent patch did nerf this OD Meteor Hammer enough, because it hasn't had anywhere near the same impact.
Radiant structures are
Mavis?
fortified.
Not going to be able to
Dire's
reach with the
middle
Earth
tower is
Spike.
under attack.
Won't even bother.
And they managed to clear the mid tier 1 from those kills. They start invading the jungle. They have really good forward vision here from the side of Polaris. And Neon are going to be cut off from trying to build up on their Bloodseeker. Asla's still taking the lane, still exposing himself to some risk if Polaris did want to rotate. It's the point where Polaris feels a lot stronger. They've got the quick blink on Lelouch. He can show up to these fights. They lose their bot tier 1, but in exchange for a mid, you don't mind that too much. You expect that with a Beastmaster. We need to see Neon start playing with a grip around.
Yeah, that they do, John, because Avatar's been caught out. A Bang, he has that Fiend's Grip available, but the surround is coming from the side of Polaris Esports. The Hex is there, and Mortimer's Kisses to fly in. That'll be your OD gone once again, as they actually go for the backside with those Mortimer's Kisses. But eventually Avatar mode does go down to the shotgun of Xavius. And now they can go top lane, where Asta is currently being chased here by Force with the Fiend's Grip. Gonna lock him down by a Bang, but do they have enough damage? They'll get the Rupture out. Force, he'll have to take it. They do have enough in the end. The rotation is still incoming here from Mavis into the Earth Spike with all the units out. It'll be another kill out for Natsumi.
Yeah, you don't mind that at all. That was 2 big ults being used on a Pangolier. Again, Neon's got this lineup that just punishes the Pango pick, but what are they going to do about everyone else? They've got to be able to spread that control out. They've got to be able to
Radiant's bottom tower
start
is
finding
under
some of these
attack.
engagements themselves. They are getting some good split push out from Onryu, but it's not really giving space to the Bloodseeker because he's still getting attention up top. So we've got to see Neon start to maybe give a lot more farm out onto
Radiant's
Asta,
middle
onto
tower is
Avatar
under
mode.
attack.
As you mentioned, Mike, the Meteor Hammer for Avatar mode has not felt strongest. The damage reduction, I think, is the big one.
Dire's top
It doesn't
tower
feel like
is
you do
under
enough
attack.
onto the tower to pressure.
Dire's
They will go for a
structures
smoke play,
are
though. No
fortified.
grip, but they might be able to at least pin one down. Lots of heroes up top from Polaris, though.
Many heroes. No wolf form available on Natsumi, however, so you don't have to worry about that. Mavis, gonna get Astral up immediately.
Dire's top
So
tower
try to help him out. Avatar. No, Cookie's not gonna land, so Mavis will eventually die. A nice setup there from Avatar mode. But it still seems like Polaris want to try and force the fight. Onto the OD they go. The Astral will protect for now, but the chase is still on as Natsumi and Xavius keep trying to chase down Avatar mode and do slow him up with the trap sound. Cookie? No, it's not going to get anywhere. The Soulbind in time going to allow them to get out. But the chase is still continuing, surprisingly enough, as Lelouch, he's in by himself, but he might get punished now that the Inkswell
Dire's top tower
was there but doesn't land. It's becoming very annoying for OB.Neon because these units from the Lycan just keep chasing down the supports.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is under
Abeng,
attack.
he's just getting shredded here. He'll be okay, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're just kind of getting ripped apart. Now
Jing?
Roshan's open for them to take.
Jing's getting chased down now, John. They have another ensnare. Jing,
Dire are
does he
scarred.
make it? I don't think he does. No, he does. The wolves end up expiring. Never mind.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You gotta love that small hill troll with his own little ensnare. Roche, again, being taken here by the side of Polaris. Without the Desolator, it's not as quick. You still do a lot of damage with the Lycan up in his wolves, so Henry is still just playing bot. My big issue right now with how Neon's playing like is that this Beastmaster has just been sitting bot lane this entire game. We haven't seen Unryu walk around with a roar, walk around and threaten with Soulbind Roar, look to set up for the team, play aggressively with Hawk Vision. It's just been all farm. And you are getting some good influx onto that Beastmaster, but you're getting Lelouch get away with so much more. I don't feel that that's worthwhile. Even if you get Bloodseeker farmed up, that's also a tempo hero. You're reaching that point where TA is just set to overtake anyway. Desolator not too far off. The Aegis goes the way of Polaris with no contestation at all. And Neon are finding themselves on the back foot. You've got to see that Wombo combo come in with the double grip, double roars coming through for them to find some fights here.
Big smoke up here. Polaris Esports just continuing the aggression as they even have a diffusal blade up now on force. They can really move in. A bang. He's gonna nightmare, but it's only gonna buy a little bit of time here for him. So he'll get a quick sentry ward down, but that's it. Force. Not gonna quite find the target he was looking for.
Dire's courier
I
has
believe
been
that was the Beastmaster of Enryu TPing out.
Invisibility.
OB.Neon, they are showing no signs of aggression, John. None whatsoever. And I don't know about this Bloodseeker. I mean, you go later into the game, is Bloodseeker really that good of a carry now? On that board.
Jing?
Yeah, he's got a golem and some wolves chasing him right now, John. Lelouch is there and the cookie's gonna make it. Very nice plays from Polaris Esports and, well, OB.Neon, they're just being hunted at the moment. It's not even really a competition, they're just being hunted.
That they are. Again, it just boils down to the fact that Henry is just holding bot lane. So it opens up this movement up top, opens up the movement mid, opens up the movement in top jungle. Because this one hero, you know, is always down bot. You know you're not going to get roared. You know you're not going to be held back or spotted out by Hawks because he's too far away to get some good Hawks down. And that's just allowing Polaris to play the way they want. So we'll have to see if this pays off for Neon in the end. They're 3k behind, not the worst. But it is growing bigger and bigger for Polaris as they give these objectives away.
Astral, I believe they have found out something here. It is going to be the Snapfire. Soulbind is there from Jing. Abeng, he's going to go for the double Fiend's Grip, but look at these units. Abeng can't hold it. He's going to die.
God.
They do at least get Xavius as a response. As now Jing's being chased down. Just getting whacked away by this big golem. And in the meantime, Enryu actually drops down a bot lane while all this was happening. They just can't fight into the units of the Lycan.
No, they don't have the durability. And it's in such stark contrast. And we were talking about Beastmaster versus Lycan being the war of the zoo, or as far as you can get for the zoo mate now, Mike. It's not coming out. Like, Natsumi's showing up, he's helping out. All he has is the helm. And that's enough. Like, he doesn't need much more. Beastmaster, you could argue, could do the same. Same build-up for our Beastmaster and Lycan, but Henry's just focusing on the split push potential instead, and I think that And that is hurting Neon. We need to see the roars. You know, we need to see that split up control here.
Here we go, Enryu, he'll get the roar off with his own golem now, so they could at least try and just take down this Snapfire, but no, he's fine. He's gonna survive, as Asta's the one to drop on the pos, one Bloodseeker, and there goes Jing. Oh boy. That's a concern, John. Xavier's just walking out scot-free like that. And they even found Enryu's dominated creep. OB.Neon, they're not able to put up a fight. Not with this draft. In fact, mid lane, Mavis, he's the man making the jump in onto the OD. Avatar could not get the Astral off in time. And now he'll just be run over by Force. There's Avatar. He'll buy himself a bit of time. It's only going to be so much though. As Mavis will take the kill. Back down at bot lane though, Lelouch has been jumped on, the Soulbind will be there. Abeng has no Fiend's Grip however, so he can't pop that ulti and get the double Fiend's Grip going. In fact, Enryu's HP is falling with these side blades, and now the Mortimer's Kisses coming in from the side. Jing, he might just melt. Enryu's already gone. Jing does go down. A massive meatball just hitting his head. What do you do? Oh, that's a great Earth Spike as well from Mavis. They just won't follow up. They'll go after the tier 2 bottom tower instead. Hey, you know what, John? I love the fact that Natsumi's going for the drum into that boots build. I mean, maybe he doesn't even get the boots, but it's just great.
Yeah, it just gives you so much. It gives you a really free slot. The boots aren't too bad for a Lycan, and it gives you recharges on the drums, right? It's just very slot efficient, very cheap, and it does allow that drums to have utility towards the late game. They're still chasing up top.
Now Lelouch gonna blink in. Asta has been slowed up. This Bloodseeker just not having the impact you once expected as he gets caught out. Polaris Esports just putting an absolute clinic here on OB.Neon in game 1. It's an 11k net worth advantage. It's just so hard to see them coming back with an OD and Bloodseeker combination. The Astral is there, but Natsumi's the one you've got to worry about. Just look at the damage. Oh, goodness me. There's just no escape.
No, you can't run from him. It's just too much. You need maybe a Ghost Scepter or Glimmer Cape. There's not enough farm for the sports to have that. And Neon's just losing a lot of objectives on the map. They still hold on to their mid tier 2. Not going to be up for too long there, Mike. Maybe this is just Polaris, you know, they were just saying they want to play Dawn of War. They're motivated to find these wins early.
Oh, they certainly are, John. I mean, Abeng's now being caught out. Lelouch looking to delete the Bane. May almost have him, but no, the Nightmare does save. This Force is ruptured, but is going to TP away. They get the Fiend's Grip, though. Right on time. They get something. Can they get more, though? Mortimer's Kisses are out. Enryu just being slowed up to oblivion. In fact, Asta just getting jumped on. You know, John, I hate to say this so early, but it might be time to call it.
Yep. There it is, Mike. They heard you. Neon does call the GG. Polaris with a sub 20-minute win. And they just have this outstanding draft. They counteract what Neon wanted. Not even counteract what Neon wanted to do. They were countered hard by Neon, but only on one hero. Like, you pick up Bane, you pick up Beastmaster, and you pick up Grimstroke and Bloodseeker just to hold back a Pango.
Yeah.
What do you do about anyone else? Like, they did have some decent wave clear with the Grimstroke, but not enough to stop Natsumi from just using his Wolves Wall. And Polaris just play as they tend to. They play aggressive. They managed to win out their lanes. Neon going back to the Palace, one Bloodseeker as well, just didn't have the best lane matchup up against Force. I mean, they did start finding kills with the Nightmare setup, but by that point, Force already got what he wants. So I think a draft change for Neon is due. Let's see if Polaris will kind of play to the same tempo, but they look in really good form here. Maybe that experience is just shining through here, Mike.
I certainly agree with you on the draft change comment you made, John. Yeah, that wasn't even close. So we'll see what happens in game number 2 as we are going to head to a short 10-minute break. Right after that break, we'll be back with game 2's draft.